alongside
Live
iteration
stream
one.
is on.
Yeah, exactly. So this can basically be a different milestone.
Milestone within a milestone?
Okay.
I don't understand what you're saying by milestone. Like, you want to add it as a fixed milestone?
Sorry, I guess as an issue is what I mean.
As
so
an
like
issue.
basically it has a different expected due date, right? Like because maybe we can take that out of scope. Oh, sorry. Sorry, and I can let you manage it. We don't need to work on this in the middle of the. I shouldn't. I'm facilitating this call, so I shouldn't try to work on this. But basically, that could be like a separate. We could take that out of scope for the fundraising prep and just focus on iteration one.
Yeah, I think that would be like an easy one to do that, like in the early days of the fundraise, rather than like when we're trying to prep.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. And then just general comment on this one, like it seems like a lot of things, and you only just asked me if I want to lead this, and from my look at it right now, like me leading all of these things, I think September 30th is hard.
Yeah.
Unless I'm getting a ton of focus from other people on it.
Yeah.
But even so, with like, I think one of the bigger holdups is the timing on advisor entrusted seed feedback, because like realistically, the way that timeline needs to happen is we get everything polished that we want them to give feedback on. And then they need like a week or more to give the feedback. And then we need like, who knows how long to integrate the feedback. So I see that as being like a 3-week thing from when we're ready to hand them the info they need the feedback on, to when like the earliest that we could say we have a polished, advisor approved fundraise ready to launch.
Yeah.
I mean, we can like keep September 30th as the goal, but I just feel a little bit like, whoa, I just want to be honest. Like, I feel like I just am like hearing that I might be leading this, and yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, for sure. These, I said at the beginning that current dates are unreasonable without dividing these tasks and trusting each other. So when I put these dates in here, like, I made some assumptions and just went aggressive, but they're not realistic. So we have to, but that's
however, I think what these dates can do for us is they can function as that sort of like encouragement that this is the thing that the whole team needs to rally behind for a month. So if September 30th is the goal, then like I assume that kind of gives license for all of us to prioritize issues that work towards that next month. Same as if Livia is leading the like TEC milestone the month after that. December 31st. I thought something. Oh, no, I guess I'm thinking of the Common Simulator thing. So if the Common Simulator milestone is due October 31st, then it gives like the leader of that license to really push like in the monthly planning that people really prioritize.
Yeah, and really the point of these dates is to get Gus involved and help us organize our resources and actually manage these dates and be realistic with predicting the future. Right now, it hasn't been looked at holistically. And so I'm hoping to get Gus to look at it holistically. And then the month planning head meeting, when we make the plan, we can move the dates and once we prioritize what we want to prioritize.
Yeah. I'm glad you're recording this meeting.
Yeah. Any other comments on this?
Yes, one. Again, just suggesting a holistic fundraise strategy rather than saying we're raising for iteration 1, we're raising for iteration 2, we're raising for iteration 3. We've had this discussion before, and actually the proposal above is that the fundraise is to cover operating expenses of the team and then doing raises for specific projects with clear deliverables, like is currently going on with the conviction voting CAD/CAD model with Aragon and Block Science. So I think it's easier for our community to understand. It's easier for the people who are looking for the deliverables of our output deliverables. If we are just funded as the Common Stack team and we are doing work on all of these iterations. We're working on iteration 1, 2, and 3 simultaneously at the moment. And I think that our comms would be much stronger and our output much more understandable if we just have a raise rather than 5 raises, and with specific tangible deliverables from each of these project collaborations.
Yeah, I think the focus will be, from the comms approach, will be we won't even be talking about iteration 1 very much unless people ask us. We'll just be focusing on what we're raising. So like, here's the roadmap that I'm very excited to get feedback on you guys from. I would love for that comment to just be moved to this suggestion, because this is like the strategy for funding ourselves. It was generally to just take 20% of each thing that we fund and have it go to the core team. That's the current strategy. I would very much be open to changing that and making just like, maybe we add, fund us as a milestone or as a fundraiser. Fund the Common Stack to do stuff. Fund the TE Commons. Fund the CAD/CAD team. Fund the Common Stack to do stuff. Very open. I mean, this is this roadmap right now, especially with you, Jeff. I would love to get feedback on it and build it together. One thing, for instance, maybe this ABC CAD/CAD design, we could integrate some funding for grassroots economics in it. Like we could just say, the cost is, $140K, $40K goes to reimburse, to pay it forward to grassroots economics for the work that they put in on the CAD/CAD model already. Like, we can do creative things like that, I think. We just have to discuss it.
Yep. That comment that you had at the bottom, 20% of each raise goes to the iteration 1, or was that to the Common Stack team?
The Common Stack iteration 1 campaign would be funding the Common Stack core team to work on building out iteration 1. So kind of like how we have an iteration 0 campaign that has funds in it, we would stack funds in an iteration 1 campaign that we would use to pay regular salaries, and also like buffer money to make sure that the project finishes.
Okay, I just wasn't catching where that 20%, like 20% of our Common Stack iteration 1 campaign is going to the Common Stack iteration 1 campaign, or
20% of every individual fundraise. So like each one of these, the idea is each one of these is its own fundraise. And when we go to the Cstack token DApp Figma, you can see that it's going to just show like, we're raising for the Token Engineering Commons right now. And it'll grab some metadata from the Giveth 1 campaign and just kind of display it. this will actually be a Giveth One milestone. And then it'll display it and it'll show like, hey, this is what we're raising for. And then at least the current thought is not that we're raising for iteration 1. We're raising for initializing the CAD team, you know? And that's what we go out with. We don't necessarily need to talk about it as part of iteration 1. We talk about it as what it is, you know? It's just.
And is that,
yeah.
Is that so we're going to do a 250K fundraise for that?
Yeah, these budgets need to be validated, each one. But before we go to all the effort, I'm hoping to get internal validation on like.
So, but we're not going. Oh. So are we going to be running the 250K for CAD, the CAD team, the 100K for ABC, the like 80K for Giveth, whatever? Are we running those simultaneously?
No, one after the other.
One after the other. Okay.
And the issuance rate for Cstack tokens will decrease after each one, and we'll still have the soft cap, hard cap, like we were planning for iterations, so that you know the soft cap might be 250, and then the hard cap they'll have 5 days to get extra funding, and then it just switches over.
So I'm a little. I like what Jeff was saying, and I super agree about like, you know, not packaging it as iteration 1 externally. But now I'm confused because I thought that the change to the fundraise structure was to do like basically 20 raises instead of 5, and that's the like flipping it on its side thing. And then Jeff, I heard you say, let's do 1 raise instead of 5. And that's like the opposite direction. I just don't know.
I'm a little worried that we're getting into the weeds here. I would say let's put all these comments in this doc, and so that we have time to go through the other milestones, if that's okay.
That's fine.
I have a question about the under trusted seed. Wait, I lost it. But it says to build a DAO on XDAI by the end of September. Is that a DAO for the trusted seed or?
Yes. So actually, Lorelei has already deployed our DAO on XDAI. So that's made progress. But this is specifically for the trusted seed registry. And the trusted seed registry is the list of people who are allowed to receive Cstack tokens that have been verified as, you know, likely not profit-seeking community members that we can trust to be part of the hash of these commons. So we need this on-chain on XDAI, and the idea is that we would actually connect it to our DAO on XDAI so that when we mint tokens, it just, before it's minted, it checks the registry to see that this person hasn't received too many tokens already and is on the list, or is on the list and hasn't already received the max amount of tokens they're allowed.
Okay, thanks.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm going to push forward. If you have any more questions, definitely feel free to put it in this doc. And I'm really excited to show this video to Gus and try to get more support on getting all this stuff into GitHub and making sure that everything's organized and set up. And also, Lorelei, if you want to get Gus's support on this for GitHub and advice, I think that's kind of his role.
Yeah, I'm trying to leave comments of issues that I want to make that I'm realizing need to be made for the milestone. If anyone else can do that too, that'd be awesome.
Okay, great. And Gus is leading the Cstack token DApp, and it is in progress. Sponnet's heading it up, and we have a whole system there with a meme and integrating it to the Giveth DApp and simplifying the whole system.
And if I can just give one final comment, the proposal that I was making was one fundraise for like our team, and then collaborative like project initiatives to fund our build. So like working with Aragon, working with Curve Labs, et cetera, not doing fundraise from the community for something unless there was desire for that from the community. But just to clear up, I was proposing one fundraise to cover our costs, and then working with specific projects to fund initiatives or
Nice.
milestones. Yeah.
I would love to see that a little more detailed if you can. And we can also do a work session on this for the iteration 1 roadmap too.
Sounds good.
And luckily you're in my time zone. So I'm really excited to work with you. Anyway, milestone 3, token engineering commons. So this is another one. Livia is, I'm kind of co-leading it with Livia, although she is quickly taking things over. So I'm excited to let her carry the flag. I am kind of playing project management for this one for the most part. And I would love support from Jeff for bringing in more influencers from the token engineering community. And really anyone can come in to the Token Engineering Commons Discord, make comments, make suggestions, and actually even be rewarded for that work, which is what we're working on now, is setting all that work up, how it gets rewarded. The roadmap here, so like the general idea is that we are beta testing the commons, mostly from the cultural build, but there is space to do technical build work, some of it, and get some beta testing on that side as well. We just haven't gotten there yet. We're still focused on the cultural build. And actually, one thing that's really cool, like one of the major outputs that we're trying to do is Livy and I are meeting every week to just review what was successful in our cultural build and what wasn't, and document that and understand where we can do better for the next one. And so far, that's been really valuable, I think. But yeah, so the document that I would say that we should review here is this external document. I don't think the Token Engineering Commons needs a lot of thought or in this call. I'm hoping we can kind of keep it to 5 minutes. But I would say feel free to review this document right now and just read through it. It's only a 1 page. And let's talk in 2 minutes. Documents right here, external roadmap. Tell me when you guys are done checking this out.
I'm done.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions about this?
I'm making an issue.
Okay, cool. Yeah, as much async work as we can do is great. So the big thing here, I think the big question mark here is the working groups. And basically, this is going to be where we, once we have all the agreements made on the culture build, how people are being rewarded, how decisions are made, and what our mission, vision, values. So we have our mission, vision, values, and all that stuff done. The roadmap, code of conduct is figured out. We're currently still iterating on incentive design and recruitment. Like that's where we are now. We're actually on pace on this roadmap, but I think it's going to be a delayed a week because we didn't get much action last week. So, but we're working on currently. We track this progress on GitHub, of course, and we're very detailed on it. So the next steps are clearly outlined, and we check them off. And I've been really enjoying working with Livia on pushing this project forward, and I think it's going really well. So I hope people can join the party. Anyway, then let's move forward to the next one, which is engage the trusted seed. So this is a key part of iteration 0, in my opinion, but I don't know that, but we don't really have a leader who wants to take it on. But different people are working on different pieces. So Lorelei deployed the XDAI DAO, and I believe that she's also working on the transparency list. I'm working on Panvala. Jess has been producing the Trusted Seed Spotlights. The last one with Shebnem is definitely worth a watch. It's pretty good. And the one with Luke was amazing. So, you know, there's different pieces here. I would say let's take a few minutes to just read through these pieces and ask any questions.
Transparency list. What is that?
That's the praise. Well, it's right down here.
Do you mean the
Cstack token holder transparency list? Who is
like a leaderboard?
Yes, basically like the leaderboard. Yeah, okay. Names and percent of holdings.
I did start the doc to get consent today.
Nice.
So. Well, I think that governance with the Cstack tokens is going to be like one of our best bets to engage these people, because that's what like gathers them together is the fact that they're Cstack token holders. And if we want to focus on something else, then we need to probably strategize that.
Yeah, I think the Panvala vote is a really good proof of concept for getting Cstack Governance kickstarted.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, hey guys, you want to use Cstack tokens to order a list? It's also really timely. The big holdup here is basically the OneHive team is really focused on making sure everything's ready for Aragon, and they've pretty much got it. I think we're on pace. Now we just need to make sure that they're going to do some testing for Aragon stuff, and then I've been chatting with them, and once that works for them, we can probably just fork it and put it on XDAI and roll with it. The real question will be how we tune it. So we're just probably going to make some guesses and then change it after the Panvala vote. But I don't know that we're going to make it for the Panvala vote, honestly. It's going to be really tight. So we might end up just going to dot polling again, which would be sad.
I think the other option is like combining this with TEC stuff a lot, because like so many of the people who are in the trusted seed or applied and wanted to join it really came here for token engineering stuff. So yeah, like those are the two engagement routes I see, is like either like creating lots of like governance opportunities for them to use the Cstack before they can use them for hatching something, or just like really trying to pull them in on like a participation and expertise level in the TEC activities.
Livia, do you have any comments on that?
Yeah, I do like the idea of getting people involved. For me, it's super strong, this image of the TEC being this like the trusted seed being this advisory body of the commons kind of thing. And maybe they have like multiple routes of expertise that even on the advice voting process we were talking yesterday, Griff, like I feel like people would feel important. They were part of decisions in an advisory way, like, oh, I need your advice here because you are an expert in this field, and then moving the community in this way, like making people feel needed by their knowledge.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't agree more. I think we're at a place this week, if we nail down the incentive alignment and the decision-making process, I feel, and ideally internal communication as well, I feel like we have the ground set. We have like the core pieces in place that can allow anybody to come in, understand the environment, and then choose to operate in it in an informed way. So I think that basically next week, if we can get the incentive alignment stuff settled and the decision-making process settled, then it should be like open invitation, pretty much open invitation for Cstack token holders to come in. The only other barrier that I worry about is trying to find a core team of community stewards that have that can be kind of like the leaders, and that already have a lot of cred in the token engineering space, and just making sure that there's some sort of clear, like, okay, here's contributors, bigger circle, smaller circle, within that bigger circle are like community stewards, and there can be like people coming in and out of those two circles, but identifying the boundaries and the roles for that. And then it should be really easy to start interfacing.
I think sometimes that doesn't happen until until the wider circle people come in, and then it becomes clear to the others. They get that feeling of like, oh, I know more. I actually know enough to be a leader and explain to the new people coming in. So like maybe I can be a community steward.
Yeah, that's fair. In the end, I will probably just let Livia choose when to really start engaging the Cstack token holders and getting them involved. I think I've been holding her back so far, so I assume it'll happen when she wants. Okay, well, we only have 7 minutes left, but we have 2 more milestones. Unfortunately, Chris isn't here, so I don't know if it makes sense to really go through the communication milestone, but he did do a really good job at outlining everything in GitHub. So, and he's tracking it really well. So I definitely think that we can go async on this and look at the communication side of things. The main thing is that the communication side should be supporting all the other pieces. And so it would be really valuable that when we have something that needs to be pushed, that we inform Chris about it while we're pushing so he can also push. I don't think that it needs to be a blocker, but it's more like an assist. And of course, the website is in progress. I'm really excited about the donation page, which is being worked on with Marco right now. And there's a few other things in progress. But I would say, since looking at the time, we only have 5 minutes, I want to give Jeff the floor on Milestone 6 if you want to give it a talk through, Jeff.
Oh
no. Oh, thank God.
Sorry, I meant to hit my unmute button and I hit my refresh button.
Nice.
So yes, Milestone 6, going back to the document here. Collaborative R&D, yeah. So this is basically a milestone to encompass all of the R&D and the various projects that we're collaborating with. Actually, speaking about this further over the past couple of days, I would say that actually a lot of these R&D chunks are kind of like our future iterations happening now. So I mean, to various extents, the augmented bonding curve we were developing in CAD for the CIC project with grassroots economics. That's not really what the ABC model that the Common Stack would be using. But definitely, I mean, any CAD model that we can add into the library, especially using these components, is super helpful. Much more in line with our iteration 2 is the notebook that is just wrapping up this week, the CAD notebook, I should say, on conviction voting. So this is a collaboration with Block Science, Aragon, and OneHive. And actually, now that this model is wrapped up, Aragon is jumping into an experiment to do a 6-week conviction funding round with about 60K worth of the ANT. And yeah, so really interesting to see that the CAD model is complete, that OneHive is working on hardening their smart contracts so that conviction voting is available on XDAI on Aragon DAOs, as we know, because we just migrated there. So yeah, really interesting to see that this is also stuff that we could possibly dog food. I'm interested in experimenting with, now that we have all these awesome roadmaps and we're looking to raise funds from the community to carry them out. Perhaps that's something we could consider using, like a conviction funding style, put in funds and then allocate vote with your Cstack tokens using conviction voting as to what we work on. And of course, we have dependencies mapped so that people can't just say, I want the CAD model without funding CAD development, for example. But definitely some interesting stuff that we can get into there. I thought I was sharing my screen, but I guess Griff still is. Okay, that's fine. So conviction voting, the Community Currency Alliance, XO Alpha Bond, Generalized Bonding Curve Research Group. Basically all stuff that fits into iterations 1, 3, and 4. And then Griff is also working on give it 2, which is iteration 3. So I actually think we're doing a lot more work than we give ourselves credit for. And I think part of Milestone Fix, I mean, how we end up, it's currently in iteration 0 because we're working on it now. But I do think we can kind of start to step away from this, like we're only an incubation phase narrative that we've been telling ourselves and our community, and start, saying that we are working on iteration 1, 2, 3, and 4 through these various collaborations. And of course, we need to do some more fine tuning of these models to match the common stack use case. But I'm really excited to think that like iteration 2 is like, 75%, 80% there between CAD model and smart contracts. So I think there's a lot to kind of unpack in this area. And I know we only have 2 minutes left in this call, so I don't expect to do it all right now. But this was just, I put it in iteration 0 milestone because Gus basically said, all the stuff that's being worked on is important, and how we categorize it is a question. But yeah, this was basically an attempt to lay out a lot of the multi-project collaborations that are currently going on, and how that may impact our build in the future.
Yeah, and one thing I want to add is the CAD community build that you're doing, which is critical as well. And I think should probably be a milestone on here.
Yeah.
It seems like CAD community build is probably something that people can all join and support. I assume, like, is there anything else that you could use help on?
I mean, right now it's just a lot of kind of like collection work. So we're starting up the CAD community calls. Next one is this Friday, by the way, Asia time zone. So it'll be really tough for people in North America, but from Europe to Asia should be good. Getting the our CAD channel, or sorry, our YouTube channel set up for CAD, and the forum, the discourse, all that kind of stuff. So it's a bit of cat herding at the moment. But if anyone is interested, I'm always happy to have more call facilitators, or anyone who's interested in helping with coordinating all of the stuff going on there.
I would say it almost sounds like there are some things Juliet could help with.
Perhaps. Let me. I guess I don't want to take us over on this one, but
we're done.
Things. Yeah,
just something to think about if you feel like there's a lot of admin work. Definitely.
Cool. Sounds
anyway,
good.
So that's our show. Thank you guys. I hope this gives a good overview of what we're trying to achieve with iteration 0. Every milestone is important. The real thing that I think we're hoping to put forth as a proposal is that, like, ideally anyone, if you're getting full-time pay from the Common Stack, that at least half your time is going towards iteration 0 milestones. And honestly, like, I feel like the CAD community build is almost part of the fundraise ramp up. So we could even loop it in there. But yeah, so definitely thank you guys for coming and going through all this. Anyway, and look, right on time. We have FFF. Hey, Felix.
Oh yeah, Felix jumping in for our next call.
Hey guys.